You're up, buddy.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? We have podcast day. Thursday. Everyone's real excited. We got this one.
Man.
We have a very special guest today. But first, Kyle, my friend, how are you doing?
Dude, I'm fantastic, eh? Like, seriously, very good. Listen to the new Metallica track today. I got a lot to say about that. And
Yeah.
as I told you yesterday, I got a bit of a rant. I think we're going to do a rant time today. If you give me a bit of.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll get to that one. We'll get to the rant time at the end. Yeah. No, man. I've been doing pretty good.
You're prepped and ready for the US,
mate. No, that's a while off yet.
Oh,
that's a while off yet, mate. That's not till next year. No,
mate,
no.
Next year is 4 weeks away.
Yeah, it's February. It's not till February.
Yeah, okay.
We got a while coming off yet. We got a while yet. But yeah, so I've had Unentitled in the studio over the weekend. We recorded a bunch of stuff. We laid down some drums and bass, scratch tracks and all that. So that's been pretty fun.
So Raf's place has been a busy place.
Yeah, it certainly has. And I got them coming back in over the next couple of weeks to do all the guitars and vocals. So that's going to be fun. I listened to the new album from Tala as well.
Ooh.
That one's really good. If you like new metal, definitely go and get on that one. That one's
well, you're gonna have to send me that after the stream.
Good. Yes, definitely.
Please.
That one's well worth checking out. If you like your new metal, it's definitely got elements of like Linkin Park and whatnot in there. So I'm pretty hyped for that one. Anyway.
Just let us know how that's sounding in the stream too. If you're in the chat, just please let us know how it's all sounding.
If there's any dramas, let us know what's going on. Let us know so that we can get that all fixed for you. Anyway, I think it's time we get to today's very esteemed guest. We have with us today probably one of the premier drummers in the Sydney metal scene. This guy has played drums in a bunch of bands. If you've been to any shows in Sydney, you've probably seen him at some point. He's played for Foundry Road, Acid Nymph, one of the best fucking Metallica cover bands in Australia, Damage Inc.
They are very
currently
good.
Also plays drums for Mechanical Embrace and who will be performing at the Moshfest on High Street show. Get your tickets now. Mate, Brad, how you doing, brother?
Good evening, gents. I'm good.
How are you?
I'm very good.
It's been a while, bud.
Chilling out. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Kyle, you may want to update the picture, the artist picture there.
Oh, jeez, man.
Last week. Sorry about that.
No, that's
the Mechanical Embrace logo in.
That's my bad. That is my bad.
But yeah, Brad, thank you so much for jumping on for this one. Really excited to have you on the here. Obviously, with our shared history with Acid Nymph, I've wanted to sort of get you on a little bit for a while. So this has been a great excuse to get you on here.
Sure.
Yeah. How you doing, mate? How you been? We haven't spoken properly in a little while, so it's really good to see your face.
Thank you. It's good to be seen. I've been smashed with work. Just finding pockets of time here and there so I can actually learn my music things. So spare time cramming music into my main.
I mean, you got a new Metallica song to learn. So have you?
I haven't heard it.
Really?
You haven't listened to it yet?
Don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't shit me. You would have listened.
Geez,
you would have been like me and listened to it the second it came out, man.
If you were to look at this week's activity, it's pretty much been 99% that.
Yeah. Okay. And what are your thoughts on it as a song? You digging it? You like it? You find it pretty meh?
The first time that I heard it, I was, there was always that kind of feeling of trepidation when you hear a song for the first time. It's just like, it doesn't hold a candle to X. But given that I've already listened to it about 2,500 times this week, maybe, you're starting to pick up little bits here and there that, it's like anything that you kind of come to with repetition, there's details that you didn't hear in the first occurrence. It's growing on me. I've got to get it into my head.
Yep.
I may be playing that this weekend.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wow, you guys don't fuck around.
Wow, okay. That's a lot sooner than I thought you guys would be dropping.
Wow.
But I suppose Clint makes you guys work pretty hard, so.
Yeah.
What did you think of the mix? I thought the recording, it gave me such an old school. It honestly, it sounded like they just all recorded that in one room together. It was just so raw, and it felt like it was meant to. It felt like what thrash is meant to feel like.
So a couple of comparisons that I'd heard, like, you know, people are obviously comparing it to Overkill from the Garage days, Garage Inc. Just because it's got the same kind of rhythm and stuff like that. But the guitar tone was a little, you know, it's very, very raw.
It's very bright though, isn't it? It's very bright.
It is.
It's a very bright guitar tone. I don't know if I liked it that bright.
Yeah.
I think production-wise, it definitely reminds me of the Garage Inc. album. That's, you know, has a lot of that, like, especially when he hits the big Luxor Turner in the chorus. There's lots of reverb on it. Very, very, you know, very much like when the Garage Inc. cover of It's Electric. I think the big, you know, massive reverb, like huge, just a lot of those kind of elements about it. And musically, yeah, the first time I was kind of like, oh, okay, it's a bit short, but whatever. But I think it's definitely capturing a lot of that energy. I think that's what it's about. I think it's more about the vibe and the energy of the song than a lot of the song itself.
100%.
So, I mean, it's got me excited for what the rest of the album's going to be.
Yeah, that's right, isn't it? It's just like these one tracks, you know, it's happened throughout the years. Like Slipknot go and release one track from the new album, and then people are like, oh, I don't like it. And then other people are just like, well, you got to wait and see what it is in context.
Yeah.
You know, does it tell a part of the bigger story? Or is it just out there as a kind of satellite? But yeah, I'm the same. I'm kind of keen to hear what the rest of the album is like. But just going back to the mixing and the kind of what they're going for, like in the past few years, like the Metallica stuff has been very, I think competitive in kind of like the loudness factor. Not to the levels of kind of Death Magnetic where things were just squashed to 11. It is very squashed, and you kind of
all
need...
modern production is. All modern production.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah. Look, I've been listening to it on my system here. I've got the sub and the monitors, and my lounge system. I've got the sound bar and the sub and the satellites and stuff like that, and sounds, you know, for those extended systems, it sounds great. On headphones, it sounds great.
Yeah, don't listen to it on your phone.
No, exactly. Yeah, you're just gonna get all this this treble from the guitars and stuff. But the drums sound massive. Very punchy. James sounds great.
Oh, sounds incredible.
So bottom endy.
Just as we were getting on to do this, I did see an article. Apparently, some dickheads are complaining about the sound of the kick drum in the song.
That's the best
They're
part.
Like, trying to pick up. I'm like, it sounds like a good kick sound to me. I don't know what these idiots are listening to. One of the
best drum sounds I've heard in a fucking long time. It was so open and full. There was no pull. There was no drawback on it. It was so forward front, and that. I'm not the biggest Lars fan in the world, but that was some fucking solid work. That was fucking good. That was fucking good. I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I think Kirk's solo as well. That was very, very impressive for me. Also, I think he's been able to. The fact that it's such a short song means the solo's got to be very succinct, and he's had to go, all right, what can I do in the space of this 30 seconds I've got to absolutely go crazy? Rather than trying to draw it out to like a minute or 2 minutes long, he's just gone in hard and, you know, made a really, really good short solo that is focusing on all of his strengths. So I'm really, really happy with it. I think there's been, as I said, there's a lot of creative decisions that I feel like they've made with this song that put me in a good mind, a positive vibe for the next album. I'm excited to see where it goes. I think if the rest of the album is on par, production-wise, you know it's going to be top-notch anyway.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of the songwriting and the creative decision, I'm, you know, optimistic as for what this is going to indicate for the next album, I think.
100%.
Anyway, let's get back to the more important topic, which is you.
Yeah, man.
Me.
You. So, mate, I'm just trying to think. I first met you all the way back.
I know it. Do you?
It was, I think it was it Windsor? It was Windsor. I can't remember
Yep.
which Hawkesbury Hotel, something like that.
That
And
was
it
a
was
great
I
venue.
think that's what it's called. Yeah,
Tensions Arise and Foundry Road
that's right.
playing a show together, and that
Mhm.
was must have 2011.
Wow.
2011, I think, thereabouts,
Jesus. Yeah, maybe.
something like that. And they had all I remember about the venue was it had this tiny fucking like stage that was basically, it was one of those ones where the drum riser was the stage basically.
There's a
Pretty
little,
much.
That was
there's
in
a
a
little
corner.
point in the corner of the
It was
back
a
of the
corner,
room.
so it was
man.
really awkward to get. Yeah, it was. Oh shit. Yeah, it was not
Yeah.
not the most pleasant setup there. But I
Solid
think that was
fucking
the
venue,
first
but
time we
solid
first
Oh,
time
crowd.
great
played-
venue. Yeah.
First time we played a show
Exactly.
together, I think, and even from then, immediately I was like, this band's amazing, and I was like, I knew even from that, I'm like, if I ever get a chance to work with this drummer, I want to do something with this guy. Unfortunately, later on, that opportunity would come up. But for those who don't know, let's go all the way back to the start. Now, I don't even think we've had this discussion, but was Foundry Road the first band that you were in that played shows publicly, or were you in a band prior to that?
There was a couple before. So obviously there was all the way through high school. Surprise, surprise, we loved to jam on Metallica. We did that at the school performances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We did a. Does any like the movie Godzilla? So Jimmy Page and Puff Daddy did.
Yeah.
They took the Kashmir riff and Puff Daddy
Yeah.
just rapped over the top of it, which was pretty cool. We did a performance of that at the my friend Alan was behind the drums for that one, and I was actually on guitar. The Kashmir riff isn't anything too
not
difficult,
that
so even a
difficult,
pleb
no.
like me can play the guitar for it. So that was school stuff, and then out of school I kept in contact with some of the people in the year above me, and there was a few bands with those people and other people that we've kind of met along the way. If anybody remembers, what was it? G-Dubs in Penrith, Great Western Bar, which turned into, was Uncle Buck's, turned into Great Western Bar, turned into Tattersalls. So we played a few
Good
shows
tats.
there.
Yeah.
Good old Tats.
Mate, I can
in,
remember. I can remember back when that place was still called the Embassy.
the Embassy.
The Embassy.
That is
Was it?
where
Turned into Tats.
Carnival
So-
played there one time, and it's actually a funny story. It's where my old bass player and his wife met at that show at the Embassy before it was the Tattersalls. Oh, that place got some history.
Was Embassy the top level?
It might have been back.
Oh, was
then.
it the whole thing?
Embassy was the ground level.
Right. Okay.
Embassy was the ground level because Embassy was on the ground level and there was a laser zone upstairs.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I don't remember that at all.
that's going back a long
Wow.
way. I remember because I had fucking birthday party there. So I remember laser zone.
Neat.
How?
And
What birthday was
I got
it?
clocked in the face by someone running across the thing with their gun up, and then I had to fucking
Always.
photo at the end with the birthday group, and I had like a busted bloody lip in the photo.
It's a war wound.
But yeah, it's back to,
Shit.
so yeah, so you played around Penrith and stuff with a few different.
Yeah, a few different bands there. God, and then started jamming with Scott, and so Scott Daniels, and who? Oh, it might have been Simo. So I can't remember how I met Scotty and Simon, but they were jamming with another lady called Mihi, I think her name was, and it was a weird mash. Like, I was there just bashing metal away. Scotty and Simo are doing their thing on guitars, and Mihi is just like trying to sing over the top, and poor girl, like we were just so loud for her. And then we started to put together. Actually, so there was another format of the band. The Chosen Few, which turned into Project Ophanum.
Wow.
So we would practice at what is now Dragon's Den, used to be Symphonic Studios in Jamison Town.
I don't know if that's
And we'd
still
do
there.
like 6-hour practices.
Wow.
It's crazy.
6
Did
hours.
you just like smoke for 4 hours and then talk for an hour and jam for one? Like I don't. What do you do? How many times
we
can you run
played
through
a-
a set?
We played our 35-minute set multiple times.
Mate, that's how you get good.
Gotta get it down.
That is how
Yeah,
you
gotta
get
get it down.
good.
So, yeah, I think that format of the band had a few shows at what was it, the one in Blacksland, Celts, it was Celts Bar at one point. So we had a show there with Takata, if anybody remembers Takata. That, like all these Western Sydney bands.
Jeez.
The Black Arts Movement. Who else was there? Diosphere. Like, these were all bands going back, pre, I don't know, 2000, 2005, maybe, around that point. Yeah, and so we had a few people drop out, and maybe it wasn't their vibe and whatever else, and then we found, it landed to myself, Scott, and Simon, and then it was suggested that Matt came and joined us, and we jammed, and, Blood of Isolation and Machine of Ruin later.
Yeah.
Many shows in between. And then, of course, it got to the time period in my life where I was band whoring, as you well know.
Yes.
The
you were in
Foundry,
so many different bands at once.
the Damage Inc., the Damned Humans as well. I was drumming for Elliot as well,
Yep.
and the Nymph. So
Yeah, I still don't know how you found it humanly possible. Like there must have been clones. You must have clones or something.
Drummers
Because
are built
to be able to
different,
be
man.
in
Solid
to be able to be
drummers.
in 4 bands and work and have the family and everything. I'm just, I was in one
Wow.
band and I was fucking shot. I was like done after that. It was.
there was one show that Nymph did before you joined. It was Melbourne. We drove back from Melbourne at kind of like 5 in the morning. We hit the Valve Bar, Tempe. Nymph were opening the show at kind of like 6 or 7, and then Foundry were closing the show at 11:30.
Oh my god.
So after a day on the road and then opening the show and then having to wait all night
Yeah.
to play again in my face, like most of my face paint, because
Oh yeah, you couldn't.
and then 50 minutes drive home, I was just running on pure adrenaline. It's just like, okay, I'm home now. I can die.
Yeah.
I will
fuck
say
it
this
up.
till the day I die. A good drummer, especially a good metal drummer in the Sydney scene, is like rocking horse shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's so hard. And I mean, yeah,
Are you juggling 4 bands?
For all the bands you were in, you got offers for so many more as well. You got approached for so many, right?
Dude, yeah, yeah, of course. Like, I'm just like, I cannot go to my partner and say, so I've had another offer for it, can I? And she's like, I'm not even going to contemplate it, like, just for
Yeah.
my personal sanity.
And your personal well-being, and hell have no theory like a woman scorned.
Correct.
Yeah.
My dad often asks me, it's just like, when do you sleep? Like, how do you achieve all this stuff? And I guess, it does get a little bit stressful when you've got, occurrences of the same band. Yeah, luckily that was on the same bill, but when you've got one show one night with one band and the next with another night, and it can happen.
Yeah.
And Marika would always kind of joke about, just put a thing called Bradfest together and you can just like drum for 12 hours straight and it's just all your bands.
Jeez.
It would probably you probably have enough bands to do that. Probably would, to be honest with you.
We could probably
So-
make it happen in the future at some point.
Dude, if you do that, can I please live stream that whole thing? Can I just set up
Sure.
Can I just set up cameras on your drum set and just on your kit and just live stream that whole show?
Just see me slowly
I-
fade away
I
throughout
reckon
the,
that could
throughout the
be
night.
Bro, I reckon that could be I reckon that could be a Guinness World Record. No, and all, like I'm being like dead fucking serious here. That would be a fucking very interesting record for you to break. I would look that shit up. You could do it.
Yeah.
I need to remember all that art as well. All the songs that have kind of been pushed out of my mind over the years.
Mate, you're the drummer.
Yeah.
They do what they're told from you.
Okay. So, all right. So let's look at the time. So when did you how long have you actually been playing for Damage Inc. now as well? Because it's been a long time now, right?
I think it's gone 13 or 14 years.
Shit. See, I can. Yeah, it's really funny because I first met Clint at a show that he was playing with an originals band that he was in.
Right.
And that was at Petersham?
Wow.
It was at somewhere at Petersham, and it was a show. I was helping out a friend who did like sound for shows, and he's like, look, I've got another thing. I've got this gig, this one as well. Can I get you to just take the stuff, set up, and I'll be along later on. I just need you to go and set it all up for me. So I was like, yeah, okay, no worries. Went and set it up, did the thing, and yeah, Clint was playing there with an originals band. The name started with T, I think. I can't remember the full band name, but this would have been, oh god, 2007-ish. There, 2008-ish, but he did mention at the time, he's like, yeah, I'm in a Metallica, tribute band as well. And I even, watching him in that other performance that he was doing, I'm like, I can see exactly why this guy's in a Metallica cover band. Like, he has all the, the look and the moves and everything down, definitely. But wow, so I didn't actually realize you were playing with them for that long. I thought it was something that you had joined around about the time that I was in Acid Nymph with you. I didn't realize it was that long.
No, way before that, yeah.
Wow, so roughly around 2010, you would have 2009, 2010, you probably would have joined. Jeez.
Yeah, I think around that time.
Just out of curiosity, what are the logistics in running a sort of covers show? Like, are there many legalities that sort of run around that and stuff like that?
Not entirely sure.
Okay,
I guess
so
the venues pay their APRA license, and then we can just play this. Like, I think they need to be covered in.
So the
anyway
venue has
by-
to be
by
covered
APRA.
by it.
I don't imagine it's any different to a band playing a cover, like an originals band playing a cover during their set. Really, it's just as long as it's as long as it's advertised as the tribute band. I imagine you're probably okay there. Because that's the thing, Kyle. Venues all have to pay APRA licensing fees.
I
to have
did not know. I'm
any
learning
kind of
today.
music. Yeah, so if they've got realistically, I don't know.
So if they have a jukebox, I guess essentially if they want to play
Yeah.
music, you'd have to have an APRA license.
Yeah, absolutely. And literally, back when I used to do deck collection, for a couple of instances, I did have to try and show up to venues to be like, hey, APRA has sent us out because you haven't paid your licensing fees.
Ooh,
Wow.
Yeah. I can't even remember which venues. Even if I could, I probably couldn't tell you who, for legal reasons. But yeah, no, there was more than one instance where I went out to talk to venues and APRA was the client. So I can only assume it was fines or licensing stuff that hadn't been paid that I was trying to chase up.
Interesting. That's interesting.
You can repossess their music.
Yeah.
Take their speakers away.
Give me that air that vibrated that certain
Yeah,
way.
that's it.
Tickly air.
I own that frequency.
So, all right. So it's. So when you mentioned that you're going to be potentially playing that new Metallica song at a show with the boys this weekend potentially. Is that's fairly standard? Like when they've dropped new material in the past, it's like we've got to learn the key songs as quickly as within a week, within a couple of weeks to try and get them out there. Or is it just you guys go, all right, as quickly as we can get them ready? And if that takes a while, then it takes a while? Or is it like, no, we're playing it in a week and that's that? Like, good or bad, we're playing it in a week?
Look, if we're not comfortable with it, I think it's, the better decision not to fudge something, not to kind of half-ass your way through it because, we do have a kind of, not a reputation now, but, we want to hold ourselves to the highest quality that we can kind of give, as, does any other band. You're going out there and you're putting your skills on display. But yeah, I mean, we've got some shit hot talent in the band now.
Definitely, definitely. I've
You
seen. I
know,
mean,
they live and breathe music.
yeah. You know what was really
That's
funny though? Last time I saw you guys up here was
mm,
Mansfield Tavern,
mm,
and it was with that Iron Maiden tribute band.
right.
And
Yep.
it was so funny because the guy in the Iron Maiden tribute band, the bass player, was wearing a Cliff Burton cutoff, and I swear to God, had like I looked at him, I'm like, he could be a Cliff Burton impersonator. Like he had that look about him, and I was like, that like he should be playing bass for you guys. Like he should be playing bass for Damage Inc. Because that would be like the perfect kind of look to go along with Clint's Hetfield. I think.
Oh,
How's he gonna go with some of those high notes, man?
I think he'll do it.
Ooh,
Like I know
like
Clint's
it.
talented. I know Clint's very talented, but those are some high notes out of James in that one.
They are. They are.
So
And that's impressive for what's James now, like 60-ish?
yeah, I think. Well,
It's
I
a
mean,
muscle man.
from what I understand, they
Mm,
play like when they go on tour, they tend to play stuff like a half step or a step
big
down
down. Right.
because of some of those notes. Like when he's in the studio, obviously he can do warm ups and focus only on doing that, you know, that big note and doing what he has to get it, and they can do all the takes and stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah, it blew me away. It's just kind of like when what's that? So, the Unforgiven 3,
Hmm.
right where it goes into the solo, and he's got like the really big note.
Forgive
Yeah, and he
me.
gets like forgive me. I was like, that's a really high one too. So I just, but yeah, very impressive from James. And I mean, looking at that film clip, he's looking very healthy as well, which is good to see.
Yeah.
Good on that rehab that he did
And
Mm,
before that show he cancelled in Australia.
yeah, I have.
yeah.
Look, I've seen some people. I know some people are still dirty about the fact that we never ended up getting those shows.
You're gonna get a better one.
Hopefully, I've looked at the dates that they've announced so far for their world tour. There's, I mean, some of these dates they've announced already are into 2024, so there's tons of
Mm,
space in there. I'm hoping we see some Aussie dates earlier rather than later, because it now has been quite a while since they toured out here, and they did cancel those shows for good reason.
mm,
For good reason.
mm.
Uh, but I think it would be a lot of their fans out here would be very pleased to see them come out here again. Getting back on track though, let's talk about Mechanical Embrace.
Ooh.
I had to
I knew
listen to
those
some of your
guys.
guys' stuff the other week on a Twitch stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
Amazing.
Now this is the
Very
band
nice.
that's playing the Moshfest on High Street show, and I
Yes.
think it's the one band, the one band that you're really in, that you've played with since I've known you, that I've never actually seen you perform with.
Come on.
I've seen
Up your
you
game.
I've seen you perform with Foundry Road, obviously Acid Nymph, Damage Inc., even the Damned Humans. I think I saw you play a show with
Right.
them at some point.
Yeah.
But this is the only one that I don't think I've seen you play a show with. So I'm very excited to be able to cross that off the list. I finally get my Brad bingo.
Mm.
Yeah, how's everything going with Mechanical Embrace? For people who don't know, tell us about Mechanical Embrace, the history of the band, and what the band's done, what they've got coming up. But besides this show, give us a bit of that rundown.
Yeah, cool. So Mechanical Embrace was previously Blood of the Many. Before that was Shadow Mill.
Hmm.
With I'm trying to
That's the name I
remember.
recognize. Shadow Mill.
Yeah, Shadow Mill. So they, we probably would have shared the Lucky Australian Tavern
Oh,
stage with those guys.
Yep. I think I may have even
Um,
spoken to Shadow Mill at one point about very preliminary discussions about playing bass for them at one
mm,
point. So anyway, sorry to interrupt you there, but
that's okay.
true.
Yeah, so I mean that's as early as I can kind of remember. But yeah, it's I mean I like to describe it as kind of like Fear Factory-ish, like synth backing tracks and metal-ish kind of grooves. It's
Yeah.
not Fear Factory. It's not to that level, but it is in the same kind of ballpark of
It
you know,
reminisces
very
that sort of industrial metal sort of.
yeah, Yeah, and it's different in the fact that I actually play my electric drum kit with it as well, just to get that kind of control over the sounds.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Um, yeah, so we've kind of got one sound for the drums that's constant between the things, and
Mhm.
now we've got the samples and the backing tracks and stuff like that. And it was um, apart from the Damned Humans, there was another project that completely goes off click tracks for live performance as well, obviously. Yeah, so I mean, that's it makes you a better player, I think. Um,
Well, it gives you no excuse.
exactly.
As a drummer, like
Yeah.
who does a drummer have to who does a drummer have to lead off? At least if you have that click track, and you should always bump it up for live shows. You should always bump it up a little bit, in my personal opinion, because live shows should always be quicker. It should always be quicker. That's just for metal. I like it when it's just not much. Just give it a little bit faster.
I think it depends
Yeah.
on the song myself. But look, yeah, click tracks is. I mean, Zach's been playing to click tracks with
Very
Skunkbone.
good.
That's been the goal. That's what he's done ever since before we started playing shows.
Right.
And we've started recently running some in-ears so that we can all have the click tracks.
Ooh.
And it definitely makes a difference. It really does.
Even for you, Raf?
Yeah. For
Oh,
me as well.
wow.
Even for Corey and everything, I think when we looked at doing it, I said to the guys, I'm like, look, even if just Zach and I are on them, because that'll help the rhythm section get even tighter. But with Corey on them as well, that means that if we've got sections where Zach and myself drop out, Corey's got a click track there, and he knows he's got that to keep him in time, and we don't have to have Zach counting the time on a bit.
Yeah.
Just helps keep the vibe of that song going a bit more, I think.
I feel you. I feel you.
Okay, so using click tracks, and how many albums has Mechanical Embrace done?
I mean, it's really just been it's been interesting because I mean, there's one album. We've been working on one album's worth of stuff. With people falling out, leaving the band, spending huge amounts of time finding replacements, COVID happening, throw the things into the mix. But we made our announcement just recently that Ali has joined the ranks, and she's brought a fantastic wealth of skill and talent, and it's a dynamic that I feel that we haven't kind of captured before, where it's all obviously been male vocalists and very growly and stuff like that. Now it's more gone into the operatic side of things.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. And the melodies that, just the different timbre and the different approach to these songs just puts a new spin on it as well.
Okay, so even if people have seen the band in the past and haven't seen them for a while, this would be a good opportunity it'd be almost a new version, a new experience of a lot of the material, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's a reimagining. I don't think the lyrical content has been reworked, but it is a new approach to the performance and the delivery.
Okay.
I'm very keen for people to hear this stuff. We've been throwing around some demos internally, and like when I'm super keen to get this stuff kind of packaged together and mixed properly, and start to get this out to the world.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. I'm excited now. I'm really, really keen for that, actually.
Because I listened to that Hopeless, I think it was, the demo that you guys have up on YouTube. I was just going through playing video clips and stuff from the bands that are playing in the Moshfest show, upcoming Moshfest on High Street show. And it was weird because I always make comparisons to other bands. It's just what you do. Do you know what I mean? But it was like if it was Static X and Disturbed did this and had a baby, that was Mechanical Embrace for that Hopeless demo.
Amazing.
It was unreal. And for a demo, it was just absolutely fantastic. It was raw. It still had really, really good sound. It was presented well. I can only imagine what's going to happen now that you have a more operatic singer that's going to, I guess, take flight in those. It's going to give you a whole new range.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. Like the vocal approach is not kind of like compartmentalized to this part here. We've got up here and down here and in the middle and
That's
yeah.
fantastic. I seriously cannot wait to hear what you guys do. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Very excited for all that. Very,
I'd
very excited.
I'd like to say that we'd have some new stuff out soon, but I can't. It's
You don't know. That's
yeah.
okay. I mean, it'll be
It's
ready
still
when
in
it's
those
ready,
demo
right?
phases. Yeah.
It'll be ready when it's ready, and I think that's something. You know, so, look, I know that in today's algorithm-driven
Society.
market, where you know you need to do like a waterfall release strategy for the algorithm to get traction, and you got to do all this stuff, and you got to spend half your time making content and fucking playing the game and doing all this bullshit that you have to do instead of just getting out there and playing shows.
Yeah.
It's look, these things are what they are, unfortunately, and
The triple
we
threat has
can-
shifted, man. You got to be able to music, social media, and create content. That's the triple threat now.
yeah. Yeah, realistically, that's definitely what it needs. And look, there's a lot of us, as I've said, like
I hate it.
many times on the podcast. I mean, look, the market's not been a meritocracy for a long time. Even before we got started, the market was not a meritocracy. It hasn't been a meritocracy since the fucking middle of last century. Realistically, that was when it started to turn. That was when it became a commodity. It became, they started like A&R and record companies started, building and just making music as a product rather than just making music, and it kind of started. Yeah, it kind of just all fell off. But
It was the monkeys, man. The monkeys fucked it for everyone.
but basically, yeah. And it's unfortunate that, and it's we don't need to get into this rant again. But we've often discussed the double-edged sword of streaming platforms like Spotify and all those. But yeah, so you guys are working on that. Hopefully, coming out at some point.
Let's say next
there
year at some
any-
point.
Ooh.
Is there any?
I like that.
Is there any new songs that fans may not have heard that they're potentially going to hear at this Mosh Fest on High Street show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can say that.
There you
So
go.
if you followed me previously, and there's you probably recognize a few, but there's going to be at least one track that I'm pretty sure hasn't seen the light of day
Awesome.
in a live kind of capacity. So there you go. You heard it here first.
By the way, if anyone does have questions or anything they want to throw in the chat for ourselves or for Brad, please feel free to do so. Any comments they want to drop in on stuff, we love it when you guys get in the chat. You guys engage with us, we can engage with you. We can get that back and forth. That's what this is all about. Or if you like Kazzy and your app's not working, just send it to me on Messenger and I'll pass it on.
Kaz.
Yeah. So this Moshfest on High Street show, we've been trying to get a lot of the bands on that are taking part in the show, and it's the more people we talk to, the more it just reinforces for me how much of almost a reunion this is, not just for Tensions Arise, but for the whole scene.
100%.
There's so many people here that, I mean, the talent in all of the bands goes way back, all the way back into, the late 2000s of the scene and what was happening in Western Sydney at the time. And I mean, you got people from, going all the way back with like Horrorwood Mannequins.
Far out.
You've got people like, like yourself who were in all these bands going all the way back to Foundry Road, all this stuff. Me and obviously Tensions Arise, all that. You got Red B, who have just been a part of the Sydney metal scene for so long now. Anton and Major, who have been around for nearly 20 fucking years on and off.
Man, that really. Oof.
And even more recent sort of bands like Bury Me that are popping up, that are been around in the Western Sydney metal scene over the last sort of five years or so, really pushing things up. It's really, it's crazy to me, and I really think there's going to be so many faces that we haven't seen in a long time at this show, both in the bands and in the crowd. So, like, I cannot overstate how excited I am for this show. And yeah, if people, yeah, like we said, if you looking, if you're looking at going to this show, go and get your tickets. Go and get your tickets, and again, we put the pre-order link in the chat. I'll drop it in the chat again for you guys. But definitely, you don't want to miss out, right? Like, we don't know how long these tickets are going to last. We don't know what's going to happen. We might get a burst of sales there, or we don't know if there's going to be any left on the door. We just, yeah, there's so many tickets that are moving on this, and you really need to go and get them now, because
you don't want to miss this. Seriously, do not. This is not one you're going to want to miss. This is going to be...
Yeah, I think this is... I said it to Kazi the other day. I think this is going to be the kind of show that people are going to talk about for a while.
Fuck yeah.
The kind of show that 5 years down the line, I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you remember that awesome show? Like, it's... And I'm not just saying that because I'm playing it. Like, I genuinely... Even if I wasn't playing this show, I would still be looking at that lineup going, holy fuck. You know, like that's a show that people are going to be at. People are going to want to be at this show. So yeah, go and scoop up your tickets now and support all these bands, because you know, everyone's getting all the bands are getting paid off of this, and the more tickets we sell, the more money all the bands get paid out of it. I mean, High Street Social seems to be becoming quite the hub for music out in Western Sydney.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to check that out.
If look, it's all ages. Licensed venue. You can bring your kids.
Yeah.
Like
licensed all ages, so a parent or guardian must be present.
Yeah, of course.
It's not just all ages in terms of just go nuts, but yeah, a parent or guardian must be present. But yes, it is all ages, so you can bring your kids. You can all these bands that your mates' bands that you grew up watching. You can now take your kids to see them. You know, it's going to be really a standout show, I think, and to be a part of it, I'm stoked. And even if I wasn't a part of it, I'd probably come down to attend it, because it's looking like being a big one, and that kind of lineup you just kind of can't say no to, I think.
And don't use that excuse of, oh, I'm going to be I'm going to be filming, because you ain't going to get the whole lot. You're going to come down to get the whole experience. You're just going to be getting snippets of what you missed.
Absolutely.
And that's the truth.
That's all you're getting. You're getting snippets of what you missed.
It's never the same. It's never the same seeing a clip online. It's never the same seeing a video or photos later on. This show has a good energy about it. It feels like it's going to be special. It feels like it's going to have that same vibe as shows used to, like 10, 15 years ago, when everyone was on the same page and everyone was vibing and just trying to have a good time. So I'm really excited about it. I think a lot of the people and a lot of the bands are excited for it. What we're going to do, we are going to run a quick ad break for a few minutes there, guys, and then we will come back with the quick question quarter. So if you need to go refill your drink or anything, go and do that. We're going to run a 3-minute ad break, and then we'll be right back, okay? All right. I'll catch you guys. We are back.
We are back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being patient.
That's all right. Kyle, when you are ready...
Let's do it.
Ready, Kyle? Can you run the little bibbity bip for me, the doobly doo?
Let's do it.
All right, quick question quarter. So, basically, it's a bunch of rapid fire questions, and we just want the quick answer. And they start off really easy, and they get more difficult as it goes along. Ooh. So, I hope you're prepared. After this, your fans will know you a lot more. They will know a lot more about you and what makes you tick.
All right.
So, what is the first instrument you played?
Drums.
Drums. Okay. What was the first album you purchased?
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, no, I know it. No, I know it. No, purchased or acquired?
Purchased.
I can't remember the first one I
Or
purchased.
let's say the first one where you were like, I want that album, and you got it.
Oh,
Whether it was your parents' money or whether it was a gift, whatever. The first album that you got, where you were like, I want that album.
the Straight Up album. No, sorry. The tribute to Lynn Straight. What's it called? Yeah, Straight Up, wasn't it? All the guys came and they put their lyrics over the snot tracks.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Far
Yes, I know
out.
that album. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, I've heard so much about it. I want this one.
Wow. Okay. That's a good first one. That's a good
Because
first
was an
album. Nice.
Angel Son on that with Seven
right.
Death? Dude.
Exactly.
Dude.
Yep.
Such a great version.
All right. First live concert.
Agent Plant, 1991, City Entertainment Center. Thank you, Dadzo.
Wow.
First
Page.
show where I walked out of there and I couldn't hear a fucking thing.
I mean, you know, like Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. What would you wouldn't want anything less, would you?
Why would you put earplugs in for that? For sure.
Okay. What is an instrument you've always wanted to learn?
Look, as simple or intricate as it might be, I think the keyboard piano would be an interesting one because, you know, it forms the basis of everything. You know,
Yeah.
anything music-wise can be performed on a keyboard. And, you know, synthesizer, you can get so many different tones and timbres and things like that. But, yeah, there's a lot of technicality that goes into learning piano as well. A lot of technique and things. So, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Love that. Okay, here's one for you. And you this next one, you can pick any of your bands to do this. Okay. If you could pick one big band or artist to open a show for, who would it be? Now, this can be living or dead, active or not. So basically, your choice of band, your choice of what era from that band, and your choice of which of your bands you would do the support. But basically your dream pick.
You know what?
We've had some doozies on here. So
How rad would it be if Nymph could open for a reunited White Zombie?
Oh, that's the best answer we've ever. That is the best answer we've had yet to date. I don't give a fuck. That's the best answer we've had.
How good would that be?
that'd be pretty fucking cool. I think we had Dan from Red B on. He said he'd love to have Red B open for peak era Led Zeppelin, which I thought would be a pretty wild combination
man.
as well.
Nah, that one.
That'd be pretty crazy. But yours is
That'd
that's
be
pretty
sick.
good too. Wow. Okay.
That was a great answer.
Who is a band or artist that you're listening to right now that you believe is seriously underrated and that more people should pay attention to?
Oh gosh. I knew one of these questions would come up. I've just been so fucking busy with work too. Excuse me while I scroll through my Spotify for 1 second.
Hey, it's all done for you for the
Spotify
year.
rap.
It's all done for you for the year. It's gonna have it there.
I know, right?
Mine came up. It was all the background music for this.
Look, I like to jump onto Spotify sometimes and just see what it suggests to me. Some of those curated playlists have been very interesting, like, you know, just suggesting things that you've never heard before. I can't really lock it down. I mean, as you can kind of appreciate, you know, I've been listening to a fuck ton of Metallica because
Yeah.
I've been doing.
I wouldn't exactly call Metallica underrated, my friend.
No, well, sorry.
Who you
Of
asking?
course.
Who you asking?
Yeah, I mean, underrated.
Or just maybe that you think isn't getting the credit they deserve at the moment, or or just anything interesting you think people should listen to that they maybe have been sleeping on.
You know what? I've been finding music again. I've been going back and just listening to those albums that you don't really think about. It's just like, oh, I'll listen to this one. and the one in this particular example is Live Throwing Copper.
Okay.
Live
Okay.
Throwing
Yeah,
Copper.
I think they were. I think they were a band that everyone kind of knows a couple of songs, but
Hmm.
maybe they don't know much more than those ones. I mean, could not pick a worse name for a band. Let's be real. Live. Who? No, live.
Live?
Why
Yeah.
did you put
Are you
Live
live
twice
or
on the
live?
poster?
Live?
Who? No, not the Who. Live. What? No.
Not what?
Who's on first? But yeah, no, I think, yeah, and look, they've definitely got a place, I think, in rock history that a lot of people that are, I think, a lot better known
Hmm.
take inspiration from them for sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, that's not a bad one. And look, I think it's worth doing that from time to time as well. You know, go back to these bands that you know, and maybe their albums that haven't got as much attention, or you know, to just revisit them, see how you go.
Well,
Uh,
actually,
mm,
what? I'll just throw out another one. So there's a band by the name of Waltari. I think they're Finnish or Scandinavian or something.
hmm
They have this album called Yeah 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 Die 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 Death Metal Symphony in Deep Sea. Now, I heard this album. It was a digital acquisition, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
It came as one track, and so I'm like, oh, they've released this one 57-minute song. But essentially, all the songs flow into each other, and just one of those random finds, and it just changes your life.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
do I think they're underrated? I don't know. I haven't met anyone else that's heard this band either.
You're gonna have to
so,
send that to me,
Yeah, it's a fucking
Please.
trip, man.
please.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'll
All
send
right.
it around.
So, look, Brad, you're someone that a lot of people are acquainted with.
Mm-hmm.
But as we know, we are being in the music scene. We end up acquainted with a lot of people,
Mm.
but a lot of them probably aren't. Well, we wouldn't consider all of them close friends, right?
Yeah.
So, what is something that people may be surprised to learn about you?
Well, I mean, not a big shock when I say I'm potentially very introverted at times. Sometimes I just want to go stand in the corner and not be talked to.
You're catching your breath, mate. You've just fucking played like a. But
Yeah,
yeah.
there's that too.
But
Like
no,
this, sometimes after damaging shows, I'll just go and hide backstage and, just
yeah.
get away from it for 5 or 10 minutes because I've just been in front of you for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Literally, and these last shows have been like 3 hours of being on stage.
Wow.
I mean, for small breaks here and there, 5 and 10 minutes, but there's no half-hour intermission like
Yeah.
we used to do.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
you're out there. You're out there doing real Metallica hours.
I think we actually do more. I think they only play like 2.5 hours, and we're pushing 3.
Fucking hell.
Oof. And I thought
I'm tired talking to you, bro.
when I first played, like, okay, so going back to my first show with them was at the Town and Country that I played at recently with one of my other bands. And I thought kind of doing the 2.5 hour set was huge, coming from a band that would be lucky to play the 30-minute set, and now we're doing 3 hours. It's just
Fuck.
it's
That's wild.
definitely endurance.
Yeah,
It's
bet.
character building.
And especially as a drummer, I can't imagine it's you. I'd say probably next to Clint, you probably got it the roughest. Like you guys, I reckon, are on par because you got to drum for that long, but he's got to play and sing some pretty
That's
intense stuff for that long as well. So
Exactly right. Yeah.
yeah, okay. I like this one. This is one of my favorite questions.
It's
Yeah.
a good one.
What is the cringiest band name or song name that you've been involved with?
That I've been involved with.
Yeah, so so a band name or a song name that you've had some part of in terms of you were in the band
Right.
What's the cringiest? What's the
Ooh.
cringiest one?
Dun, 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 dun. I mean,
You're gonna upset someone. Just do it.
I'm thinking it's got to be off something, maybe off the Flood of Isolation, but I'm just trying to think which one. Um, I mean, if only for the reason that it doesn't kind of explain a lot. You know, Foundry Road's Rise. I don't know.
Mhm.
It doesn't explain a lot in the title. You know, musically it's fun, but what does Rise mean? You know, it's just a reference in the lyric. I don't know. I
Okay,
guess.
that's a
Yeah,
different
no,
one.
fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. And now for Kyle's favorite question.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
Brad.
What-
Just let me say something.
Mm.
Sorry, Raf.
No, you go for it. You can ask the question if you
No,
want to
no,
ask.
no. You're gonna ask a question, but
Okay.
just hear me out. Last couple of answers
Hmm.
haven't really tickled my pickle.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I want you to dig deep for this last question and really like, oh, go.
All
All
right.
right.
In other words, he wants you to piss somebody off.
Yeah.
What is your most controversial musical opinion?
Ah.
So, a musical opinion that you hold that you know is going to divide people, or that you know you're on the minority of, but you know you're right.
We did have Daniel Ash come out here and say the Beatles were overrated.
Ooh.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Dig deep.
Well, I
So-
mean, yeah, okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
And that's it. I mean, it can be as simple as I think this very popular band is overrated, or it can be, I don't know, whatever yours is. But
I'm very much a person for having things. So, to preface this response,
mhm.
you know, there's certain events in your lives where you kind of, you know, that configuration of a band or something should be cemented for all of time.
Mhm.
And I just I really really wish that Dream Theater and Mike Portnoy would reunite. Mike Mangini is an amazing drummer, but you know, when there was that transition period between the two, the you know, the technicality of the band stepped up, but they kind of lost soul and feeling as well.
Okay.
And, you know, and people will say, "Oh, it happened 12 years ago. Get over it."
I
You
honestly
know,
don't think I've listened to anything from Dream Theater since he left. So
yeah,
and that's not out of protest or anything. That's just like I was very into Dream Theater for a few years, and then I kind of got over it.
yeah.
Um,
So
yeah.
I don't
Okay.
think that's kind of the controversy that you wanted, Kyle. But
Oh, don't
sorry.
worry. I'll give you some later.
Yeah.
You'll jump on my bandwagon. I promise, Brad.
All right. Let's go to the fuck off files then, shall we?
Let's fucking do it. I'm gonna pull
Hit the thing. Hit the thing.
my mic up because for some reason.
For some reason, and I can't hear you.
It's all right.
All right, cool.
You
you're
can hear
back.
me now. I just
Fuck
pull
off
it closer
files.
with my speaker.
All right, lovely. So, fuck off files. Basically, we did tell you a bit before, Brad, but for those who may be watching that maybe haven't, or listening that perhaps haven't indulged in one of our podcasts previously, basically the fuck off files is we talk to our esteemed guest and we ask them if they could just snap their fingers and Thanos any three things out of the music industry for good, what would they be and why? So,
Send it, Brad.
you've-
Send them away.
you've been around, you've seen a lot of stuff. What are you yeeting out of the music industry first?
Sound guys that are just there to get a paycheck. They just
Okay.
put the faders at one spot and they don't really balance after the room fills with people.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been some situations where shit is feeding back, and the sound guy's found inside on the pokies, not giving a shit,
Yeah.
but he still gets paid. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. No,
I fucking
that's a,
love that one. Agree.
that's a good one. I really, really like that.
Agree.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we've all, I think we've all experienced it at some point. The sound guy that literally just like he plugs it in, he puts the stuff there, and he's like, that'll do, and then he kind of walks away and doesn't even come back to check on anything. Doesn't. Yeah. No, that's
Exactly the
absolutely.
scenario.
Absolutely, that can get in the bin. 100%.
Fucking oath.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What is your second thing?
Music industry.
It can be punters.
any aspects.
It can be
anything,
punters, venues.
yeah, like fan behaviors, things
Genres.
venues do, what other
Genres,
bands do,
anything you fucking
genres.
want, man. You want
Anything
to
you want.
fuck off a genre? That's your genre to fuck off
This is
right
your
now.
dream. This is your dream list. If you were God and could go, this is how I'm gonna make music better.
These things don't exist.
Yeah, I think there's something very soulless about the whole dance genre. I don't.
Ooh.
It doesn't touch me.
Okay.
You know, obviously being metal dudes, we like the sad and dark and angry and stuff like that. Man, dance music is completely the opposite to me. It doesn't make me happy. It makes me want to rip people's heads off.
I understand that.
Oh,
I
fair
get
enough.
That.
Look,
I get that.
This
You-
is
I was just
this
saying,
is
kid,
your
though, and I used to
fuck off
love the clubs.
this is your fuck off files, my friend.
That's
you
it.
You can put whatever you want in them.
Soul-
Whatever you want.
Soulless dance music, yes.
All right. And what's your number 3?
Oh. Ooh. So,
No, it's tough.
being in the tribute scene,
Okay.
and you know, with Damage Inc. Fortunately, you know, being in the position they are now, like we've got good management and we're playing the bigger sort of venues and stuff like that. It has opened the floodgates for, you know, other Metallica tributes to come and take the other venues that we're not playing and things like that. And it's been observed that, yeah, sometimes people want to kind of go up against the juggernaut, go up against the Goliath. And, you know, we just get in the bin. We all love them. We all love the band. You know, we're in a better position than you, but
You guys have been
Do
doing
we
it a lot fucking longer.
that's true. That's true.
Hey, JS Stranger Music at Hate. Thank you for the follow. I hope you like our new little pop-up. I didn't tell Raph I made that. I just wanted to let him see that.
Thank you for the follow.
Welcome
Jay
to the
Strange.
family.
Thank you very much. So what is it that you're kind of getting rid of here? Is it like bad attitudes from other tribute bands, or is
Know
it
your
like,
place.
Look, we're not. Well, it could be that. It could be that. But you know, there's no need to go around and say, "Oh, we're your rivals."
Okay, yeah. So
You're not even on the same fucking level.
Not after 13 years, and even prior to that. No.
okay.
No. To be
Anyway.
fair, yeah. To be fair, like I actually have a little story. So, Damage Inc. We back in the day when I was playing a band called Exist Within, Damage Inc. were on a bill with us. And we got asked to swap spots. We had the post headline. Damage Inc. had the headline.
Right.
You guys tore the shit. You guys tore the absolute arsehole out of that place. The only problem is you tore the arsehole out so bad that you emptied out the arsehole. And no one was left in the pub when I played.
Oh no. Oh
Oh
no.
no.
What year was that?
Oh, dude, it was so long ago. We played at Penrith. Like, we played on the high street at some little bar.
Oh.
And I think there was like one masked band And so, but like, mate, it is what it is. It was fucking years ago. It's funny to actually sit here and talk about it now. But there is a reason why you guys get top spots in the Metallica tribute show. Is because even I was sitting there going, these motherfuckers are fucking good. Like, yeah, like, you deserve every accolade you get, for whatever comes from Mechanical Embrace, and yeah, the whole Metallica stuff as well. It's just, mate, you deserve, ain't no one going toe to toe with you lot. You're gonna have 13 years before you can fucking do that.
Yeah, and I think it's just, you know, I think it might boil down to small man syndrome potentially. You know, but you know, we get into music to make ourselves feel better, and if there's anything that this Mosh Fest on High Street thing kind of signifies, it's that, you know, we all come together for the love of music. There's no band saying, hey, we're better than you, we're better than you. Yeah, with most of these bands having been friends for many, many years, like many exceeding a decade now. There's no love in saying, oh, I hate these fucking guys because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I think you know, healthy competition is one thing. Being like, oh, you guys put on a great show, so we want to go out there and put on an even better show.
That is healthy competition.
That's one thing.
That is
that's
healthy.
one thing, you know.
Exactly.
But saying, yeah, and this is where I think things kind of fell away through a lot of the mid 2010s into the late 2010s in the scene. Is there was, you know, sort of 10, 15 years ago, there was a lot of that healthy competition. People would help each other, but it'd also be, it'd be like, you know, you'd play with this band and they'd put on a great show, so you'd be like, yeah, okay, I see you, I respect that, watch this, motherfuckers. And you'd go up there harder, and you'd work harder to try and put on a better show, right? But ultimately, it wasn't to make them look worse. You were just using what they'd done as inspiration to try and fuel yourself to do even better, to be the best, put on the best show you possibly could.
100%.
And I feel like there was a definite shift where bands started to not even like put other bands down or anything, but just like they started treating other bands as more competition, you know, more rivals than friendly competition, than being, you know, it's like you're all in the same fucking boat. You're all trying to get to the same place. Why are you paddling the opposite direction to these other bands? It's just no. It's something that we've talked about a lot, and something I've found up here in Brisbane is there seems to be a lot of that same sort of good energy and cooperation that I experienced. You know, if amongst most people, there's a few people that are, you know, need to pull their fucking head out their ass, but that's the same with anywhere. That's the same anywhere. So, all right, cool. That sounds pretty good. I'm liking those. I think they're all pretty good. I really
solid,
dig those.
Man. Especially, like, I really appreciate the whole thing of no, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say, know in your fucking place, and that's a big thing. Like, you don't just walk into, especially being at like a tribute band. You just don't walk into it and go, "You're the rival." No. There's years that have gone into this. There are connections that have gone into this. There are venues. There's management, like you've said. There's so much more that goes into this than just getting up there and replicating a show. Like that's one part of the bigger beast. It's entertainment. It's not pissing off venues. It's a whole thing. So I'm bang on, Brad. Fucking really appreciate that. Really appreciate the honesty.
And I think as well, like it's. Look, I don't know. You don't need to name names of the bands that you're talking about, but I'm just wondering, like, how many of them are doing the 2.5 to 3 hour sets versus how many are just doing, you know, a 40 to 45 minute set as part of a larger show. You know, like, you guys are up there doing that huge performance that is a marathon, basically. You guys are up there doing the marathon performance. And I just wonder how many of these bands that want to have that kind of attitude could get up there and do the same thing. You know, it's easy to learn an hour's worth of Metallica songs and then go out there and say you're a Metallica cover band. But
exactly,
to learn the whole back catalogue to the point where you can go up there and play 3 hours, and then an encore,
And do it well.
and do it well and consistently
big
the
thing,
whole
man.
time is
Because anyone
That's
can go out there
fucking
and
hard.
fuck up a song.
that's challenging. That's challenging, and it's you know, not most bands, most originals bands couldn't get up there and play for 3 hours and have it be.
Oh hell no!
Just
No,
enough,
exactly
like-
right.
It's really is a mammoth effort that you guys are putting in there. So,
I mean, yeah, there are some bands that only go out there and they're like, oh, we only play things pre-Black Album. Like, well, you know, that's okay.
Call
but,
yourself
you know,
pre-Black.
that's your choice. That's your choice.
You're
But-
missing
Exactly.
out. You're missing out on a whole catalog.
That's
Despite
right.
despite of who likes it and who doesn't like it, regardless, people are going to want to go out and hear those classics off each of those albums.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, definitely. I think there's a lot of room there. By the way, let us know what you guys think of Brad's fuck off files in the chat. If you're watching there, do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there anything that you would fuck off out of the music industry if you could? Definitely let us know. Jump in on the comments there. You know, we're about to move on here to.
Can I just have one quick question for Brad?
Kyle's?
Just
Yeah.
one. Just one. So now that you guys are sort of like doing those big 3-hour sets and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and being in the sort of original scene that you're in, excuse me, I don't know if you can obviously talk for the rest of the band and stuff like that, but does there become a point where you guys sort of feel obligated to sort of put on original bands to open for you guys to sort of help their growth as well? Because at the end of the day, like, we can all turn around and say, oh, you know, covers is easy, rah. Doing covers well and pulling those big crowds is fucking hard, because if you do a cover bad, it fucks your career. Look at fucking Puddle of Mud. Look at that fucking cover, that Nirvana cover he did. He fucking butchered that. He ain't going nowhere after this. Like, that's it. Done. But now, do you guys sort of feel like it's like a civic duty to sort of help build up these local bands?
For these tours, we haven't had any supports just because of the sheer length of the show. So, you know, we'll kick off at 7, finish at 10:30, and it just doesn't logistically make sense unless they want to start at kind of like 5:30 and, you know, play to a handful of punters in the venue. But on our last tour, we did have supports in each one. And I mean, yeah, that they were chosen by our management, but they turned out to be really, really cool. And the thing was, they already kind of had a following as well.
That's good.
So, you know, they could help with ticket sales and the draw.
So it's like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. We'll get those extra punters in that you got that haven't seen you guys see the Metallica show. You bring your guys in, they'll see our show, and we'll all just.
That's it. It's
That's
mutual.
good.
Exactly right.
That's the way it should be.
I think so.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. I'm
Yeah,
glad to
exactly.
hear you guys do that. That's good.
Awesome. That's really okay, Kyle. I know you've been jumping at the bit to get this one.
Oh, dude.
You got your rant there. I think I know what it's about. I did a little searching, just letting you know. You got 10 minutes before we run an ad.
Cool. Let's do
So
My rant time.
give us your rant, Kyle. Go on, hit me with it.
All right. For all you lovely, lovely, lovely people that live in Sydney, you may or may not have heard recently that Allianz Stadium has announced how many shows, how many concerts they're allowed to do this year. And guess how many they're allowed to do? Do you want me to tell you? It's fucking 6.
It's not a very big number.
No, it's
It
not.
is what I thought. When
It's
you gave me
not.
the hint, and I looked it up, I thought that's what it might be.
Yeah, and my city's taken enough of a fucking hit from COVID, lockout laws prior to that, which pretty much destroyed the fucking music scene as far as I'm concerned. Lockout laws were the fucking first hand. COVID fucking destroyed it. Lockout laws were the fucking first point. But now, you have dumb, and I mean dumb, and I'm talking to all you people that bought near a fucking stadium and thought it was going to be fucking quiet for most of the fucking year. It goes the same as you dumb motherfuckers that buy near a pub after having a look at the fucking unit or whatever the fuck you look at through the week and don't think, Maybe on Friday and Saturday night it might get a bit fucking bumping there on the inner city. You live in the fucking inner city. Now, I heard some dumb motherfucker try to turn around and say that I could hear the Guns N' Roses concert 8 kilometres away from my house. Bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. There is that many fucking buildings and road noise of fucking round there that you ain't gonna hear fucking shit. And if you did hear it, be thankful that you got a free fucking concert. That's my first. Dude, seriously. The nightlife in Sydney is fucking bad enough as it is without you dumb motherfuckers that live around in councils complaining to your council that it gets too noisy and people are having too much fun. We've had it. I've had it. I'm telling you. Frankie's Piece is already gone. That place was a fucking institution because of greedy motherfuckers. And now all you people want to do is sit there and complain about a little bit of noise. Be thankful that you live in a city that can actually have these things. Because you could live in some fucking shithole that wouldn't even allow you to have fucking rock concerts. Enjoy. And it just really, really irks me that the arts are the ones that take the biggest hit. No one ever turns around and goes, oh, the footy's on too fucking often. Oh, the soccer's on too fucking often. None of that shit. It's always about the fucking music.
Yeah.
Get over yourselves. If you don't want to hear music, move into the fucking suburbs or out in the country on a big property where you don't have to live around other people. Sort your fucking lives out, champions.
Yeah, I think it's one of these things where people they say they move to an area because it's got it's got good nightlife, but they don't even think about what goes into that nightlife, right? Like nightlife includes music, nightlife includes live performances. It's part of that package. You take away the live music, the restaurants are going to start going down, venues are going to start going down, pubs are going to start going down. It's just not going to work. So these and I know we're talking about Allianz Stadium, which is obviously not like a local venue or anything,
but it's a bigger thing than that.
It's big, and the only other thing I'd turn around with is like in terms of music stuff. Yep, you got what is it? There's Olympic Park. You got the stadium at Olympic Park.
That's Allianz.
You got the arena at Olympic Park. This is the new one at Moore Park. I think is the one that I was reading is the one that's got 6 shows a year. So, yeah, I think I do agree that it's hypocritical for you got the footy on there, every week almost every week, but then we can't fit at least a dozen shows a year.
Yeah.
This is going to limit the amount of bands that can come out here, big bands that are going to be able to fill these shows. And yeah, okay, you can say, well, I just do the arena at Olympic Park or something and do
but then what does that do for fucking ticket sales?
But no, I agree. And if it's Sydney, I mean, we've talked on here in the past about Sydney is trying to put these plans in place apparently to take Melbourne's crown of being the cultural centre of Australia. Shit like this is not going to help your argument.
No.
I really think it's going to limit options for large bands that want to come out here, and it's just going to make it that much harder for them because people just don't understand how much goes into these huge tours. They don't understand how many people are involved, not just in terms of local crew, but in terms of logistics of getting the band and all their stuff over here.
Well, dude, look at Blink 182.
Sure that
Blink 182 have already announced shows for 2024 and sold out those fucking tickets.
Yeah.
Just that in its own just shows you the logistical.
And it's just these things, I think, where people they just don't realize that how much has to line up for this to work. Shows of this scale for international bands, and the fact that we have now been not without COVID, but COVID's been less of an issue for a while, is a lot more bands are going, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's make this stuff happen now. We can be confident that it's not going to become a problem again. And yet, what we're finding then is there's just not enough dates at appropriate venues for bands to do this.
No.
And it means that you are having these tours and these shows. And I don't know, if other cities in other countries are experiencing similar issues, but it's almost now a backlog because you've got so many bands wanting to come out and do these big shows, but there's just not the venues with the availability, and it's not just one city either. You got to have all the cities you want to play. It's all got to line up.
Well, that's the thing.
And
I mean,
if you want to do even if you just want to do East Coast, Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne, you got to have appropriately sized venues in all of those cities with the right dates with respect to each other. That it's not just like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll do it then. Well, what if someone else is doing it then? Or what if, you can only get 2 of the 3 cities? Yeah, it's just not.
well, Perth isn't even on the fucking list for bands anymore, is it?
No.
Not a lot
it's
of them.
another
No.
country.
No, unless look, I think some bands like Metallica are probably going to still hit Perth for maybe a show or two.
Did Blink 182 say they were going to do Perth? I don't think they put on a Perth show. I think they only done the East
I don't
Coast.
No idea.
I'm not sure.
I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, so it's one of these things that I think really needs to. They really need to kind of get their shit together and say to these not in my backyard type people, no, this has always been an entertainment precinct. There's always been noise emanating from this location. Why did you move here if you didn't want noise? We're going to take, while you're looking that up, Kyle, we will take another quick ad break. And then we will, just kind of have a bit of a random chat about whatever.
Yeah, man.
So stick with us. We will be back
Thank you
momentarily.
all for your patience during these ad breaks. It really means a lot to us that you guys are so patient.
It
Well,
does.
mad affiliate. Thank you guys so much. I saw you lot.
Yeah, thank you again for that, guys. You helped get us over the line with that. It means we can start trying to, earn a little bit of money with this, and maybe eventually, if it
more
keeps
money
growing,
means more content for you.
more content for you guys. We can just do more for you guys like that. So I'm just going to run a quick 90-second ad break, and then we'll be right.
We're back.
If I just take a look here, I'm looking at it's like a population map of Australia from this year, and percentage of okay, so these are the percentages of the population of Australia that each state has. Okay, and you have to obviously keep in mind the majority of these populations are focused around the capital cities. So New South Wales is 32. That's almost a third on its own. Victoria is 26 and Queensland is 21. So when you look at those numbers, that is nearly 80% of the entire population of Australia is the East Coast. I agree that it's rough that bands don't go to Darwin, even like Tasmania, Adelaide, Perth, and Darwin. I agree, but from a purely logistical and business standpoint around their tours, and it's become harder for those West Coast shows or those other shows to be subsidized by the East Coast shows. The way everyone's trying to get their shit in now, and the fact that you've got, Live Nation or Ticketmaster or whatever you want to fucking call it, they're the one, they're fucking, they own venues, they own the ticket selling systems, they own the fucking companies making the merch, they own everything like that.
They're the ones that promoters have to go to ask for permission to put on shows.
And that's it, and it's so fucking hard to get all of that, and they just, and yet, if there's anyone to blame for a lot of that, it is Ticketmaster, because they've made it, because that conglomerate has made it so difficult for bands, even major international bands, to make money off doing a tour of Australia, that they can't afford to go, okay, well, we'll do Perth even though we're going to take a loss because we're going to make enough money on the other ones to still make it profitable. It's like their profit margins become so razor thin that they just can't afford to do that. So, and there's the argument to say, well, but they should still do it to thank their fans. It's like they're not going to come to Australia and take a loss. They're not going to come all the way here and spend all that time and money to take a loss.
It's not a fucking holiday.
So so like they have to be going where the people are, going where the money is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And if you want to blame anyone, blame Live Nation, Ticketmaster, whatever, that's built themselves this monopoly that they can fucking charge bands out the ass so that bands have to charge the prices they're charging
Yeah.
to make even a modest profit off doing a tour like this.
Well, doesn't
because that is what's making, Adelaide, Hobart, Darwin, Perth shows, that's what's taking them off the table. It's not the bands being lazy, it's the fucking company that's behind the touring like this that's making it impossible for them to do it. Well, not impossible, but financially, like, it's a dumb decision to go and do that, unfortunately.
Oh, well, you got to think most of these bands have a cover charge to get you into the country first, isn't it?
And I'm not. It depends
on the caliber of the band that you are, like, or how big you are.
Depends on the caliber of the band. It depends on how it's being organized. Like, if you're a promoter in Australia and you want a band to come over, you're going to reach out to them and say, hey, I want you to come here. The band's going to go, okay, well, we want this much. If you're a band that's wanting to come to Australia, that's a different story.
Yeah, true.
That's a different story. You're going to say, okay, we want to come and tour Australia. Who's got offers for us? But that's going to end up with different amounts being paid. Because
and then you got to hope on ticket sales that you're big enough. So. You have to organise a venue. You have to get all the insurance. You have to find a promoter.
Yeah, and it just becomes, there's so many factors behind all of that. So it's not just saying, there's a charge for them to come to Australia. It's, are they coming because they are doing a tour and they want to come, or are they coming because someone has reached out to them and said, we would like you to come here and tour? Those, even just as simple as that, is going to change the factor and change the situation there. But yeah, I'm looking. I mean, look, if any cities outside the East Coast were going to be added onto these tour loops,
you could only put Perth.
Perth's obviously the prime candidate, because Western Australia has 10% of the Australian population. So that if you were doing, Brisbane, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth, that's basically the big cities that you're going to get. And, when you start going down into single-digit percentages of the population in a state, it really looks less and less.
But growing up, that's what I remember it used to be. It used to be Sydney, Melbourne, Queensland, Perth. That was the four. The four shows that every band was guaranteed to do.
Yeah. So there's a myriad of factors that play into it all, and unfortunately, a lot of it just comes down to the fact that, just the capitalist market has just driven, like stupid. All industries, has driven, because companies don't want to make a little bit of profit. Some profit's not good enough. Companies that they want to make all of the profit.
Yeah.
Or
they don't give a shit if you remortgage your house to get this ticket. Buy the ticket.
And the problem is they want to make all of the profit, and then next year they want to make more.
Yeah.
And then the next year they want to make more. And it's not just enough to say, okay, our company makes a average of 30% profit every year. Cool, we're good with that. No. They want to make 30% profit this year, and then next year they want to increase that to 31%, and then 32%, and then 33%.
KPIs, my friend.
People are going to run out of money. There's only so much. It's like the whole Bitcoin and NFT thing, right? Bitcoin and NFT are essentially futures. If you're familiar with the stock market, they're futures. You're trading on the value. You're trading on the idea that this is going to sell for more down the line. And that only goes so far before there's no more idiots with more money than you willing to buy it.
I'd never seen nothing like it before in my life. Like, I got into the crypto sphere.
And I guarantee you, for 99% of people, by the time we all heard about crypto or NFTs, it was too late. Way too late for any of us to make money out of it. Like, but the people the people that made millions out of it were in at the ground floor.
Yeah.
When they were buying it when Bitcoin was like, you could buy a fucking 1,000 Bitcoin for $1.
Yeah.
Those are the people that made millions off of it. And anyone who was buying into Bitcoin when it was $100 a thing, $1,000 a thing, fucking no.
I'll tell you a mad story about that if you're interested.
Yeah, well, we're on the random section, so we got to go on.
So, back in my heyday, I used to hang around with a person that used to give out substances in order to make people feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Illicit ones. Anyway, I'm sitting around with this guy who had just purchased some things from a friend. And he was sitting around and he's going, oh, man, have you heard about this Bitcoin stuff? And the reason why I'm scratching is because of the caliber of this person was. He's going, man, have you heard of this Bitcoin stuff? And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy going on about? He's going, Bitcoin. So I'll get all my stuff from overseas off it. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, it's a full black market. You go on these onion websites, whatever. And he go, and this was back when one Bitcoin was $50.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, you should buy some. And here's this less than amicable fellow that I'm going, man, I ain't listening to this motherfucker. And I sit there and think, now, if I had bought $1,000's worth, I wouldn't be working. And but that just goes to show you, like what you were saying before, people on the ground floor. And he was literally on the ground floor. The only problem with him was he was shoving it all up his arms and that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
One Bitcoin at one point was worth 86,000 Australian dollars. So if I'd bought
crazy.
one for $50 and held on to it,
yeah,
it's amazing the amount of emphasis that people put into things that are on the internet and how people easily are led into.
You know what? At the end of the day, I think someone needs. There's got to be a website tracking this, and if there's not, someone needs to make it. Anything that Ashton Kutcher seems to invest in seems to go gangbusters. Not because he's some genius that I'm not saying he's a genius that manage it. He doesn't manage any of this stuff. He doesn't run any of these companies. He just goes, I think this is a really good idea and this company's approaching it in a unique way. I want to invest some money into it. And that's why you just don't see him acting much anymore.
Are you calling it the Ashton Kutcher effect?
I kind of think I am.
Would that be almost like the butterfly effect?
Almost like the butterfly effect, yeah. But from what I've said, and I can't think of it off the top of my head now, but I know that that for example, Uber was one of them, and Uber was searching out for funding, and apparently they were struggling because a lot of people were like, it's just taxis. What do you?
Gary V. You guys know Gary V?
No.
Ditched on Uber twice. He's a multi-billionaire. He ditched on Uber twice. He said, nah.
Yeah. So, but basically, yeah, Ashton Kutcher was like, no, I think Uber's a great idea. I think it's a really, really good idea. I think it's worth investing in. So he's invested some money, invested a whole bunch of money into it, and he's just made fucking bank off of it. And there's been multiple things. So I think someone needs to try and find, I think if you've got money to invest, find whatever he's about to invest in or he's invested in recently and fucking put your money in that. Anyway, I'm not a financial advisor. Do not this cannot be considered financial advice. Don't sue me if you lose all your money because I don't have any money for you to take. All right, I think let's bring this home. Let's bring this home and wrap this one up. So, once again, big thank you to our guest Brad from Mechanical Embrace for coming on to talk about the band and stuff. We work with Damage Inc. As we've been maintaining through this whole show, Moshfest on High Street. Tickets are available. Go and buy them. If you want to go to this show, get them while you can. They are only $20. $20. You're looking at barely over $2 a band for that kind of price.
$20.
Click that link command. You get the t-shirt link.
Yep. We got the t-shirt link as well. I must admit, I have been mistaken. I've been saying the t-shirts are going to be available for pre-order until the 9th of December. That is not the case.
I could have sworn you said the 5th on the
They
last
are
stream.
available until the 5th of December. So go and get. I think on the stream on Tuesday I said the 5th. I don't know about that, but anyway, if I have said the 9th to you, I do apologize. It is the 5th. So you currently have 4 fucking days to go and order those if you want to order.
I'm going to get mine straight after this.
I do believe Kazzy has actually found a whole bunch of old Tensions Arise merch as well.
Awesome.
So if you go to I'm sure if you go to the Tensions Arise page, there'll be stuff there for that too. But yeah, so go and get your tickets for this Moshfest on High Street show, Saturday, February 4th at the Sound Garden at High Street Social in Penrith. It's going to be a hell of a fucking show. Once again, props to Brad. Go and listen to some Mechanical Embrace. Go and listen to some Acid Niv. Go and listen to some Family Road. Go and listen to the new fucking Metallica song so you can learn the lyrics and sing along at Damage Inc.'s show on the weekend. Oh, Kyle, have you got anything coming up? What have you got? Have you got anything lined up?
Wow. I do. I do. I don't know if you guys have seen, but MMK Promotions has just announced her fucking Gymna show. So we are going full steam ahead with Gymna Rocks 2023. So we're going full steam ahead with podcasts from nearly all the bands. We're going to be showcasing all their video clips, giving them all the props in the lead up to the show. We're just going to go gangbusters on this 25 bands, which means I've got 25 weeks. Got to be busy. It's going to be a lot of content, a lot of beer, but we're getting on the bands.
I think you're gonna need to do more than one a week if you want to get through them all before.
Oh, we will. But I'm probably going to be live streaming at the actual thing. I'm taking my laptop up, so we're going to do the whole thing. But yeah,
awesome.
Keep an eye out.
If you need a place to stay before or after, dude, let me know.
Oh man, I'm probably going to be heading up there before and after.
Awesome.
But thank you so much, man. And Brad, can I just ask? Your career has been very, 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 very extensive. What is it that fucking keeps you going in all this shit?
Just the passion. Being able to play live and for people. Being able to connect. Being able to... that feeling when people come up and say, man, that was an excellent show. Compliments like, you play better than Lars. I mean...
I'll take that.
I like to play. I like to restore because it's not a hidden fact that Lars kind of fell off the bandwagon playing wise. He wouldn't practice anymore. He would just go off his live performances and things like that. From what I've heard, he's actually gotten better in the last couple of years. But I just wanted to kind of bring back that quality to a live performance of a Metallica song. The songs that we grew up listening to, the album versions, and trying to replicate every drum roll, every pattern, every whatever. Because the big thing about Damage Inc. is like we're there when Metallica aren't here. We kind of fill the void in some manner. And people have said it. It's just like, well, we can't see Metallica, but we can see almost the next big thing, the next biggest thing, best thing.
Love it.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, that's what keeps me going. Just playing live and getting that rush, keeps you young. And God knows that we're getting on these days.
Yeah. So speaking of that, so you said you did a Damage Inc. show this weekend. Where's that at?
We are playing at. You would have thought I researched this before.
Oh, we caught you out. Clint's gonna be mad.
That's why we got a whole podcast for it. It's all the time.
Yeah. Clint, Brad
Music
doesn't
Land.
know what's going on.
Clint, fire me. Music
don't
Land in
fire him.
Melbourne.
Just break out the belt.
I'll be getting fired before you, mate. Don't worry.
All right, Music Land in Melbourne, yes, and then
and
the
then
Barwon Club Hotel.
That's correct.
Ooh,
Those
so
two places.
two.
Friday, Saturday, double banger.
Oh, that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be rough.
Oh, we
Have you
did
got any-
we did
have you got
11
anything
Dive
else?
Bar and Wallaby Hotel last week
Oh,
over 2 nights. So we're road dogs now. We're used to very little sleep and performing 3 hours a night. So
Has this become a full-time thing for you, the Garage Inc. thing? Oh, okay.
no, it would be great. But yeah, still have to hold down a job.
As everyone in heavy metal does.
Oh yeah, exactly. But when the money does come through, it's nice.
That's good, man. No, it's good. It's good to see that. Yeah, you're getting that monetary value of your time.
Exactly right.
and is any other stuff that you're involved with? Got anything coming up that we should know about? Any other announcements or anything you want to last minute drops that you wanna give us the scoop on?
Well, I'm in a dad rock band called the Dead Set, and we recently got a new vocalist, so there's going to be some work there.
There's so much Foo Fighters, so many Foo Fighters.
It's Yeah, it's
Love
kind
that
of like
rock.
a combination of all of those older kind of genres. You know, the ones that are getting on now, your Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelins, AC/DC, kind of that. You know, it's a big culmination of all those bands.
Well,
And
that's basically granddad rock at this point, isn't it? Because like,
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
we're
that's the
we're
title
dad
now.
rock now, champ.
well,
We're dad
I
rock.
mean, yeah, well that's it. Like Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, even
Yeah,
Metallica were considered dad rock, 10, 15 years ago, right?
yeah.
And
Mm,
now bands like Green Day and Slipknot are being considered dad rock. So
Chords, dad rock. Deftones, dad rock.
everyone's, yep,
oh
yep,
my
all these
God.
bands. I
I
know it's gross.
know.
We've
I
got to
fucking
accept it.
know.
We've got to accept it. We're the dad rock people now.
You know what?
Oh
To be fair,
man.
though, I look forward to the day when my kids come up to me and go, "Dad, check out this band I just found it." Because that's what I did to my dad. Like, my dad,
Yeah.
is a mad Metallica fan. And I'm like, "Dad, check out Slipknot." He's just like, "What the fuck is this? This is fucking mad."
Mm. No, that's awesome. That's really, really good. And in terms of what we've got happening here, we still have the Tuesday practice streams going. So those are really cool. If you want to tune in on the Tuesday nights, watch me fumble my way through the Tensions of Rise material. And then maybe once I've jammed on that for an hour, just give me some other songs you want me to learn. Jump in the chat, be like, "Oh, you learn this one." If you donate some bits or some subs, I'll absolutely will try and learn it. I'll do my best. What else have we got? So
We got
again,
the
we were
Chrissy
teasing,
stream.
we were teasing a little bit for our end of year stream last week, so we'll give you guys a little more info on that now. So Thursday the 29th of December, that one's going to go down. We are going to start it earlier than normal, and we are going to run it later than normal, and it's going to be a real hodgepodge.
That's good. She's
The
gonna be
goal's going to
fucking.
be we're going to have multiple guests on. We're going to be drinking a lot. We're going to be drinking a lot. The guys in Unentitled, because they're a punk band, they believe in like all this anarchy shit. They want to abolish the central banks. We're trading on the barter system, so they paid me in vodka. So I have a lot of vodka that I need to drink. So we can crack into those.
It's gonna be
And,
drinking
yeah,
games. There's gonna be
drinking
quiz
games.
show.
Yep, trivia, the whole fucking thing. It's going to be awesome. So the plan for that right now is we want to try and get a bunch of return guests. So a bunch of people we've had on through the year. Maybe Brad can come on that one for a bit if he's not doing
Brady.
anything. We'll see how we go. And the plan is we're going to be just talking shit, having a whole bunch of people on. Sorry, I knocked my microphone again. I'm all over the shop today. And yeah, a whole bunch of people is going to be on there. Everyone's going to be drinking. It's going to be a grand old time. Games, drinking games, trivia quizzes. We're going to play all sorts of weird and wonderful music videos for you. By the way, Kyle, start compiling a list for that. If you've got any, bands that you found that are a bit sort of
Ooh.
that you think are cool, that you think you might want to show people that are a bit weird,
Yeah. Right.
a bit stuff that you
Oh,
think
it's gonna
might
be a full
old
set.
a little bit.
To be fair,
This is
this
gonna
one
be
will not go up on YouTube. This will be a Twitch stream only because it's going to be
Yeah.
copyright strikes coming out the wazoo.
Yeah, we are absolutely not, and
Mhm.
yeah, there's probably going to be a whole bunch of content that's not going to be appropriate for
Oh fuck yeah!
for YouTube. So that one's going to be on the live stream only. You will not want to miss that one. We will have more details as that one draws closer. I will say, everybody, unfortunately, next week we are going to be taking the Thursday off because both Kyle and myself are traveling.
I'm in
So
Fiji.
there's not going to be any play. He's going to be in Fiji. I'm not going to be in Fiji. I'm going to be driving to Sydney. But yeah, no stream Thursday next week. But the week after, we're not going to say who it is yet. But it's a fucking big one.
It's
a big one. It's a big one. So you are this is probably going to be the biggest guest that we've had on to date.
Fuck yeah, it is.
I think it's the
We'll
first.
tell you, Brad,
band,
after.
I think it's
Ooh.
the first band that's that we will have had on that's got a Wikipedia page that's like a meaningful Wikipedia page. So yeah, this is going to be like stepping the game up for the next one. That's going to be on Thursday, the 15th of December.
It's a
So
massive one.
you're not going to want to miss that out. But pay attention, keep an eye on the streams. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Chat was a bit quiet today, but that's perfectly fine. Thank you again to J Stranger Music, 8HA, 8 hectares or 8HA, whatever that is. I couldn't quite see the whole thing, but thank you again, J Stranger Music, for subscribing on that one.
Welcome
or for
to the
following,
family,
I
brother.
should say. As before, we've said, we are affiliate now, which means if you really like what we do and want to support us, you can do a paid subscription on the channel. That unlocks a few extra things in chat for you, and it also supports us and allows us to keep doing more content and keep doing what we're doing. Just makes
Gets
it a little
rid of the
easier
ads.
for us. and it gets rid of your ads too. So if you don't like watching the ads, which seem to be a bit random at the moment, but that's okay.
We're working on it.
Yeah, if you don't like watching the ads, then yeah, if you become a paid subscriber, those ads are gone. So we're just trying to tweak all this. We're still getting used to this affiliate business, but yeah, thank you again so much, everybody.
If you're Amazon Prime, you can use a free sub.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
Subscribe to this channel.
I keep forgetting
Do that
about
thing.
If you've got Amazon Prime, I believe you get a one free Twitch sub for each month, right?
A month. That's
One a
right.
month,
Yep.
yeah. So
You need to renew it.
yeah. So yeah, it doesn't even have to cost you anything extra. If you already got Twitch Prime, Amazon Prime, you've got a free one you can throw our way. That'd be awesome. Or to whatever streamer you might like. Go out and support these people, right? Like we all
Get
just
onto
trying to make
them. Get onto the bands. Don't worry about us. The bands are the ones that do all the work. We just need to talk shit.
All right. So look, again, massive thank you to our guest Brad for coming on. This is awesome. I cannot wait to give you a big old fucking hug.
Yeah, man.
guys.
Have a drink together.
When I come down to Sydney, have a drink together. It's going to be amazing. I feel like, especially once the show's finished, there's going to be a lot of drinking going on. So that's going to be awesome. And to all of our viewers, again, yes, thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you guys next time. As always, we all know the world's been pretty crazy the last few years. Just look out for each other. Try and help each other where you can, because you never know what someone's going through. This world's the only one we got. Take care of each other, and we'll all get through this thing a little bit more comfortably. So